He saw that his platoon go from, 43 strong, 44 strong, down to like 22 or 21 personnel. Where he was carrying like 7-man squads. And that's just over KIA and WIA being medevaced and guys EASing. So, but even with that, he said, hey, here's my combat power. If you still want me to, do missions, I'll still do missions. But this is what we're lacking.
What about the other platoon commanders?
Rugi, very proficient, very capable, bit of a meathead, but a meathead in a sincere way. He didn't have a very strong platoon sergeant though, Hardin, and I think that's what he needed. And eventually that's what led to him being relieved, was that I don't think he had a strong enough staff NCO, and it was a lot of things that occurred under the observation of Captain Gannon, and there were some things that Captain Gannon and Battalion Commander confided in that I knew about, but I didn't know they had confided in. And the one instant where the straw broke the camel's back, it was kind of like Lieutenant Rugi had to be relieved, but he was definitely one of my most capable and competent platoon commanders. Just he needs some time to develop or whatnot. Eventually, no bad paperwork was put on him, and he turned out, when we went back with 1-7, he ended up being one of the top lieutenants, in Baker 1-7. He was phenomenal. I wish I still would have had him, in my company, but I think it's just some extenuating circumstances that it had to be done real quickly. And if anything, you can say that maybe it was that allowed him to excel and be a superior platoon commander. His replacement, Gunny Carpenter, has always been a great Marine staff NCO. Did well taking over first platoon, and I definitely confided in him. He definitely became one of my solid platoon commanders. Then there's Watson. Watson, competent as well. It's really hard. It's going to find it very hard for me to say anything really bad about anyone. But he was the cliched, junior lieutenant, from the basic school. He's got all the book smarts, got all the, he's tactically, you throw a problem out there, you give him a teach, and he can talk you through it. But then you take that lieutenant and then you put him out into an environment that's unforgiving, it's a chaotic environment. You're gonna have that 1% that's gonna be a little bit more stressed than the others, and he definitely, carried a lot of stress. I mean, he was the first platoon out there, out to patrol, and he gets a major contact.
And on what day is that you're talking about?
And that was March, I want to say it was March 13th. No casualties or anything like that, but just that there, I mean, that set the tempo. And it seemed like every time he went out, he would always get contact. Him and weapons platoon seem like the ones that always get pinged the most. And you get pinged so many times, there's gonna be that percentage of guys that seriously get, bothered by that.
Do you think the enemy may have recognized Lima 3 and targeted them?
Possibly.
There's no confirmation.
There's no confirmation on it because, the weapons platoon equally got hit. I think it's just based on, you got to do pattern analysis and see how much activity's been around that area. And if it just so happens that it's 3rd Platoon weapons platoon that happened to go through there after 1st or 2nd I've been through there, that's what happens. The enemy's smart. He's got the cell phone when you walk around the wire, and he's collecting on you from, the minute you step out the wire. Our camp was right on the border checkpoint where there's over, 100 government workers.
What about the platoon sergeants in Lima Company?
All of them were good except with the exception of one, which was Hardin. Hardin, like I said, was the weaker one, which I think really led to Rui getting his relief, because Hardin couldn't talk to the platoon commander, and he couldn't communicate to the squad leaders, to the Marines. He definitely didn't like getting contact, and he would definitely go internal when he would take contact, no matter how big or how small it was. Then you had Stetson Wilder. Wilder is a former second platoon guy, so there's always going to be a level of loyalty with him there. Very capable, definitely meat eater, was keyly, solely effective, and responsible for establishing Camp Usaba, which is now Camp Gannon. While everyone else was sleeping, he was out there working the force protection. He saw Captain Gannon's intent and his vision, and he just went at it and put it together like a madman. While at the same time he was operating as his platoon. He was definitely Lieutenant Watson's yin and yang. So he was that key person to develop. Which when he left and Sudan came on board, Sudan once again another phenomenal sergeant, very good. It was originally a second platoon as a squad leader, but we wanted Sudan to be the platoon sergeant because there was an air of maturity that he had that you just didn't see out of most sergeants, and it was very noteworthy. Only thing with that though is that with Watson and Sudan, initially they clashed because Watson looked at Sudan as a sergeant, and sergeant belonged in the squad leader billet. So Watson felt that he had to carry both jobs as a platoon commander and platoon sergeant.
And what about some of the squad leaders? Are any of those of particular note?
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Sergeant Milinkovic, for example, and
Sergeant Milinkovic,
Parker.
Parker was a good one. He was definitely he came into his own. Milinkovic and Mejia were definitely Marines that were just solid. I mean, Link was always. They were all Wilder products. Wilder had a way of building his empire no matter where he was, and they all kind of would just emulate under him. So Link was a member of Super Squad. I think it was Mejia. Mejia wasn't a part of Super Squad, but they just kind of took on to his personality. Same thing with Parker. Parker, was extremely effective, and they could all, they were all corporals at the time. They weren't sergeants, but, and the level of maturity and the amount of responsibility they had on their hands, they could do it. But they all definitely bonded well with Sergeant Sudan. Sergeant Sudan, kept them all, kept that united front, so that what Lieutenant Watson saw was, he didn't get a mixed review. He always got, a solid look at who they were. Some other solid squad leaders were, Corporal Rogers in Sec Platoon. Corporal Heath. Real solid guys. Webb's platoon. Gibson, who was killed, but he was definitely a great Marine. And our first platoon, you had Tolmau, and you had who's the other? And Lance Corporal Johnson. So first platoon probably being the most junior, but they're still the most effective. And they were good.
What was your opinion of the local population, both the friendly population and the enemy?
Very complex. You definitely knew the mood. You definitely knew when you were going to take some sort of significant contact based on the mood of the locals, the fence sitters. The Mooj heavily saturated that area, and they definitely had an aura, And it wasn't necessarily always your foreign fighters. It was just your hardened criminals, that just. It's a border town, and smuggling is something that they've done for the over the decades and centuries.